6:48, top headlines here in our Smart Start for Thursday. At least one person is dead after a house fire on the north side of Rochester.
The calls for this fire on Bernard Street came in just around sometime between 8 last night. Firefighters say they arrived within 2 minutes. Multiple attempts were made trying to rescue the victim, but unfortunately it was too late. Authorities say they are still investigating the cause of this fire, and they're waiting to identify the victim as well.
Our fire crews have been spending long periods of time out in the brutal elements responding to calls this week, putting out fires and working on rescues. In the past couple of days, there have been multiple calls all throughout the city, leaving buildings destroyed. That 3-alarm fire yesterday, and then that deadly case last night. What goes into getting ready for these scenes at this point on the calendar in the winter? RFD goes into what it calls fire department ops. That's when crews start carrying salt on all the fire trucks, and they really focus on keeping the water moving to prevent it from freezing.
Making sure that we have water at the fire, which is our primary thing that we want to worry about, that they begin to deploy that salt around the fire truck to make sure that the firemen are not going to slip and fall as we're trying to get to and from the fire as we're trying to complete our job.
Firefighters also stress when you are heating your home, please make sure the heater is inspected. If it's not working, do not heat your home or try to with a stove.
A father of 3 murdered in Rochester over the summer is being remembered by his family as a loving man dedicated to youth football as a coach. 31-year-old Alec Roos's suspected killer was arraigned on murder and weapons charges here recently. Roos, who we're showing you now, he was found shot on the morning of August 20th near North Plymouth Avenue and Ambrose Street. Investigators say that the evidence led them to arrest 28-year-old Brandon Hall last week. Police tell us Hall shot Roos with an illegal handgun following an argument.
He loved his siblings. He loved me. She just told me a few days ago he came into her dream and said, "Tell my dad I love him." It hurts. It still hurts to this day.
At his arraignment, Hull was given $25,000 cash bail and a $175,000 bond. His next court date has not yet been determined.
Today, there's a press conference meant to condemn the behavior of the AMR team and the Rochester police officers who responded to this November medical emergency. This is the scene where a man was taken out of an ambulance.
News 8 reporting extensively on that, showing you the body camera video as well. Aram Spitzer live in the studio this morning with more on the upcoming conference this morning. Aram.
Yes, faith leaders and activists with the United Christian Leadership Ministry are calling for everyone involved in the incident that night be immediately suspended until further action can be taken. This goes back to November 30th on Seneca Street in Rochester. During the incident, EMS workers alleged the man who was suffering a medical emergency assaulted one of the workers and was removed from the ambulance. Shortly after exiting, the man collapsed and was left on the ground for more than 2 minutes before he received any assistance. AMR has told News 8 they are conducting an investigation and have asked the State Department of Health to investigate as well. City of Rochester is also investigating. That man died weeks after this incident, although it remains unclear as to what was the exact cause of his death. UCLM leaders will be speaking this morning at 10:30. We'll have reaction from that press conference right here on News 8 at noon and our website, rochesterfirst.com. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Aram. A lawsuit has been filed against the former owners of the Main Street Armory, as well as the security team there. This after the deadly concert stampede from last March. Tiffany Backstrom says that she was at that concert when the show ended. Something alarmed the audience, causing people to rush for that exit, and 3 people were killed in the stampede. Backstrom says she was among the many concert goers that were hurt, so she's filed this lawsuit against the former Armory owner, Scott Donaldson, claiming that the owners and security team failed to complete their duty and maintain order. RPD shut down this venue, which was later sold, and the new owners have not yet been announced. Now, the case involving 3 Clyde Savannah High School students accused of sexually abusing a football teammate, that has been officially moved now to next month. In a Wayne County courtroom, the defense made a motion trying to review the grand jury minutes. The defense claiming there's not enough evidence to maintain all the felony charges against these students here. The varsity football team season ended abruptly once the school officials were made aware of this incident.
The request from the defense counsel is that it is either dismissed or reduced, which means there's a possibility that it could be dismissed completely or reduced to a lesser included offense, which are possible felonies as well, or that the judge does as the people asked, which is deny the motion in its entirety, and then the charges would remain as they are.
The judge here also issuing an order of protection. The defendants given explicit instructions not to be around the victim or any witnesses. They are also now due back in court February 2nd.
Sunrise traffic 653 out on the west side of the city. There's a crash at Warner and Otis Streets. Another one near 390 on Westfall Road at Mount Hope. And then just a little south of there, West Henrietta Road, there's a crash reported at Flat Road as well. We will check sunrise traffic again at about 7:25. Taking you inside the Buffalo huddle. In 3 of the last 4 seasons, the Bills have run into the Chiefs in the playoffs. This is the 7th matchup between the two teams in that time frame. Both teams have 3 wins apiece, 2 of Kansas City's in the postseason. This year's different though, right? That game is in Orchard Park Sunday, and it's Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game. News 8 heard from some of the Bills on what it's like playing in what could be the most heated rivalry in all of football now.
Exciting, exhilarating, fun, most watched game, however you want to put it and sum it up. It just, when the Bills and the Chiefs playing, everybody just seemed to be watching, you know.
There's definitely a little edge to it from just in the years past, personal feelings or whatever it may be. I think football is best played with a little chip on your shoulder. You know, you got a little edge to you. So this game's always been that way, a little animosity, a little fight.
Got a lot of coverage coming your way for that divisional round showdown. Specials tonight, Buffalo Kickoff Live, half an hour at 7. We'll do it again Friday night at 7 as well. And then, as usual, Sunday morning, 11:30 live from Highmark Stadium. And then we will take a breath and sit around and wait for the late game Sunday night, 6:30. It's kickoff for Bills and Chiefs. And then we'll have post-game coverage. After that, you can see all of that with Thad and the team right here on News 8, your home for the Bills.
Oh, yes, certainly lots to watch here. Now, as we've got our eyes on Buffalo all the way down 90, some folks there in Buffalo and Erie County still hammered with snow, digging themselves out or doing their best to. In fact, at least 3 people have died in here in the recent storms, and the businesses shutting down early, colleges closing down. The Sabres game with the Blackhawks even postponed. There is still a travel advisory in all of Erie County. We just mentioned travel ban for those big commercial vehicles across 90 from our area all the way to the state line. Most of that will be lifted except in the southern part of Buffalo by 8 a.m. Look at that, just how much they've gotten there.
I mean, that's 60, 70 miles, but might as well be on the other side of the country.
I know, just incredible. We've gotten honestly very lucky in comparison.
Yeah, you got to clear the snow out around your house. Is really the big thing, because you don't want the exhaust for the furnace. Got getting back in the house.
They've been working on finding the fire hydrants too for first responders. They see that if they have got a house fire call. For us today, we'll see some flakes, but you know, barely much of anything accumulating.
Not too bad. A few tenths of an inch. There may be some snow on side roads this morning if you are around Rochester. Highs in the mid-20s. Bit of an improvement from yesterday. Tomorrow, more snow. I'll put another inch or so on the ground. Saturday, a couple inches could be possible off of lake effect. And then if you add cumulatively the next 3 days, we could be looking at maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 inches around Rochester.
Wow. All right. Well, stay warm, everybody. Stay safe. And thank you for sharing your morning with us here on News 8 Sunrise.
We're back here with news and weather in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings next.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.